Definitely have some questions about this defense. I'm not all the way concerned because I'll give you a couple bad games here or there. Obviously, I saw your numbers that you put on about the 500 teams and below 500. But DaRon Bland,
you called this yesterday.
As great as he's been all season long, like, you got to believe that every team, they play the Eagles next week. You know what? Let me show you this piece of tape because when you watch this game, there's plays that stick out to players. And this was a 3rd and 2 right before halftime. 10 yards off of Tyler Lockett is DaRon Bland. This is after he had been beaten by DK Metcalf a couple times. The play after this, he gets beat by JSN on the touchdown that gets reversed. But if you look at Al Harris on the sideline, his coach, he's looking at him like, dude, what are you doing? You can't give him 10-yard catches on a 3rd and 2. This is the player that has set the record for pick sixes in a season. Like, he was completely doubting himself and his ability. And it started because there was no pass rush getting to Geno Smith. And if they can't get pressure on the quarterback, this can be who they become. And when you think about who they play next, DK Metcalf went to college. He played with a guy.
A.J. Brown?
A.J. Brown. He's a pretty impressive guy.
Yep.
You think that the Philadelphia Eagles aren't going to look like, yeah, let's go at that guy.
Okay.
They could potentially have a huge problem moving forward with DaRon Bland, as great as he's been, if this is who he's going to be and this is who teams are going to target and attack.
So to Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, no.
Well, no. He was, I mean, and despite the pick sixes, I didn't ever. Yeah, I mean,
that wasn't going to happen.
I think Myles Garrett and T.J. Watt have been demonstrably better, and I think Micah has been more impactful on his own team, even though the pick sixes. Here, I thought the Cowboys were going to have the best defense in football. They clearly don't. They clearly, for the first time we saw it last night, how much they missed Diggs since their first game without him. But here's, I don't want to say silver lining, but the reason I don't think it's a death knell, Brew. If your defense can only be elite at one thing, I'd pick the thing the Cowboys defense is elite at. It's been, by the way, and I understand the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes, but prior to this year, when the Chiefs have not had great defenses, the one thing they have been both their Super Bowl years great at is getting to the opposing quarterback.
Yep.
And if your path is going to be our star quarterback is going to get us a lead, allow us to play with the lead, and then we're going to tee off on the pass rush like they did at the end of the game, that can be enough. But right now, I thought the Cowboys were going to be a team that won through their defense. Right now, they're having to win through their quarterback, who I think is the MVP of the league. So, yeah, I think it's a concern.
No, it's definitely a concern because I'm not even trying to be funny, it's Super Bowl or bust for this team. Period.
What's that mean?
It means they got to win the Super Bowl.
Like,
or it's going to be
happens?
a huge disappointment.
S-Bob you're talking about?
S-Bob.
Oh, I didn't know what Super Bowl
was. Huge failure.
Okay.
I'll just say S-Bob for now.
Okay.
But seriously, I mean, because the teams, they have struggled. I showed the graphic earlier. Yeah. When they played teams just 500 or better, and it's only 3 teams, but I've thrown in Seattle. Seattle is nobody's juggernaut. All right, they averaging 22 points a game, hadn't scored 30 or more since week 3, and they put up 35 on the Cowboys.
I didn't notice the tomato.
All right, look at them.
Tomato can on?
I didn't notice that.
It's subtle.
It's just
it's subtle because I didn't want to rip them, but it's subtle. Yeah, there's tomatoes in that. But against the tomato cans, they hold them 12 points a game.
Gotcha.
All right, but the elite teams, they struggle, and in the playoffs, you're meeting San Francisco, you're meeting Philadelphia. Those are elite teams. And
bro. You know what that alarm means?
I know.
It means it's time for a segment so hot that my great aunt keeps it in her medicine cabinet. And if you catch her sprucing up her morning tea, she'll look you right in the eye and say, like you're some kind of saint. It's time for Upset Alert. Greg? Greg.
Was that the line you wrote just to get Greg to laugh? And he refused to laugh?
That's why I did it, because I'm like, was that it? Yeah, cross that one.
Up first.
Upset alert, here we go. I'm going straight to the top. I'm going to the Green Bay
I like
Tundra.
it. Oh, wow. I like it.
Ooh, Nick. Uh-oh. This really may happen. Look, I understand what you're thinking. Is like, what? There's no way that the Kansas City Chiefs will lose to the Green Bay Packers. Well, they don't really have to lose, but I'm taking the Packers right now because the Chiefs are packing a little light because they're busy looking ahead. You know who comes to town next week?
Some mediocre 500 team.
But you know, I knew you knew. The Bills.
Yeah.
The Bills. What are the Bills doing right now?
What?
Resting. Getting better, getting healthy,
Indeed.
all the things.
Working on their resumes.
We were all talking about this trap game for the Dallas Cowboys when we looked at the Seattle Seahawks and who they have coming up in the Philadelphia Eagles. Well, the Green Bay Packers are coming off a great Thanksgiving win against the Detroit Lions, one of the best teams in all of football. And they're feeling themselves. They're going to be excited having the Kansas City Chiefs come in, a place where Patrick Mahomes has never played. Can they do something special? You better believe they can, because I know this team, I know this organization very well. They're going to try to establish that they can take down teams that aren't tomato cans. And the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be in trouble.
Wishful thinking. I'm not even.
I like
trap
game.
in my ear. He's like, Nick, you can respond.
Trap
I don't need to
game.
respond. Trap, please.
I like it.
Next.
I'm going with Denver over Houston.
This is even worse.
I love it.
This is a tough one.
I love it.
Because I love C.J. Stroud. You guys know that.
That is true.
But Denver, I think they're rolling. I actually think Denver's a good team. Like, I don't think they're just getting lucky. I don't think, teams are taking them lightly now that once they gave up 70. The defense, I think, is legitimate. Defense was good the last 2 years, if not last 3 years, and it was an anomaly that they were giving up 70 points. So I think the defense comes in well. The interesting thing for me is going to be, like I said, Russ hasn't been cooking. He's just been playing smart, efficient football. But Houston, it's hard to run on them. So they give up a lot of passing yards. So now the challenge, they may put Russ in a position where he's got to cook. And I want to see what he does. And I'm betting that he plays well, so I'm going with Denver.
I like that one. I like both of those. It's time now for the Puxatawny Phil of Football to make his upset alert. You might be asking, why do they call you the Puxatawny Phil of Football? I'll be honest with you, it's because I can see the future, but I come to you today with a heavy heart because I put in the most awkward of positions, having to kind of root for my team to lose. You would think that we hit the bottom of the barrel with this Belichick being fired talk. Nope, It keeps getting worse. Last night during the game on Amazon, they promoted the upcoming Thursday night game.
They didn't have
without a Patriots player. Just the guy who chose all the Patriots players. It turns out we don't have one player marketable enough to make a promo panel, so they just put Belichick up there. That coming hours after, for the first time in NFL history, the mighty New England Patriots were flexed out of Monday night, where they play the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, the face of the league, Travis Kelce, and the hottest story in all pop culture, Taylor Swift could be there, and basically said, you know what, not interested if you're playing the Patriots. So now the Chargers come into Foxborough. And here's the thing. Mac Jones obviously done. Zappe'd is in. Zappe'd doesn't have to do much. Even though the Chargers have the worst pass defense in the league, you can throw the ball around a little bit. Just don't turn the thing over. Probably going to win because our defense, Patriots defense, very good. Held the last two opponents to 10 points. And Justin Herbert, I know he's dangerous. How many points did he score last week? Anybody know? Anybody?
17?
10 is correct. Oddly going to be a low-scoring game that the Patriots are going to win. And we're going to fall out back in our draft position. It's a brutal spot for me. But I got to be right. Patriots win. But if we lose... Big win for me as well.
Okay.
Time for Nick's picks.
Thank you so much, Kevin Wildes. And another thank you to Chris Broussard.
Welcome, Nick.
Nick's picks started the year off a mortifying 6-14. Since they were on the bud list, the picks are 12-6. Just 2 games under 500 thanks to a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend where we had the Packers outright winner, the Cowboys covered by a ton, the Steelers and Jags never a doubt, small doubt with the Jags.
Yeah.
And then I got Dorian Thompson-Robinson got knocked out of the game on a dirty hit. I should have gotten my bet refunded. Honestly, I mean, come on. Quarterback gets knocked out on a dirty hit. Have some credibility, bookmakers of America. Refund those bets. All right. 3-0 to get above 500.
Let's go.
I feel great because I'm in direct conflict with 2 of your guys' ridiculous upset alerts. Houston -3 at home against the Denver Broncos. Listen, the Houston offense is not going to turn the ball over, which means the Broncos offense isn't going to be able to score on those 28-yard fields. C.J. Stroud is going to be cooking. The Broncos are still without Kareem Jackson because he has spent a third of this season trying to behead opponents, so he doesn't get to play football anymore. So C.J. Stroud's going to be out there dealing with or without Tank Dell. Nico Collins be there. D'Amico Ryans will be fired up on the sideline, giving Sean Payton the stink eye from across the field. Houston, 27. Denver, 10. Lay the 3.
10.
Next. Bake Show.
Ooh.
Tampa, 5.5-point favorites.
I like
Baker.
That's easy money.
7-4 against the spread this year. Carolina, you might be like, new coach bounce.
Yeah.
No, it's not a Josh McDaniel, we all hated the coach situation. It's more of a, this team's not any good situation. They have scored 13, 13, 10, and 10 in their last 4 games. Tampa Bay, behind. The gritty Baker Mayfield scores 20. That's more than enough to cover the 5.5. Tampa, 20.
I like that.
Carolina, 10. That's Carolina. Surges towards the number 1 overall pick to give it Chicago. And last but not least,
all right,
Kansas City laying 6 in Lambeau. Yes, Patrick Mahomes never won in Lambeau. Sounds like something he's going to want to do. Also, do we know that Jordan Love is good in the cold? Oddly, for a Packers quarterback, we don't. He's from Bakersfield, California. He went to college at Utah, but you check those old game logs, seem to play better at New Mexico than home in November.
Been up there for 4 years.
Yeah, but he's not been playing, so we're not sure about that. Also, this is a 27-10 type of game for the Chiefs. Vanilla game plan. Chiefs defense dominates. Bonus, because Nick's picks are so hot. A free money teaser.
What?
Chiefs tease to a pick'em. And on Monday night, the Jags teased to just -2.5 against Jake Browning. That's free money. Go pick it up, America. But in the meantime, bet these games. Houston, -3. Tampa, -5.5. Kansas City, -6. These are square favorites. Doesn't matter. They're all winners. And we're going to be above 500.
Okay,
That's Nick's picks for the week.
I like those a lot.
Thank you.
Just trying to support.
How do you like mine and
I'm just trying to
Bruce and then you
support.
like all
Good if
that?
that segment works, but ours are kind of, we need that to work.
You're not even going to be here Monday. You had no accountability.
Yeah.
If the Chiefs
You want to zoom in?
do what I believe that they're going to do, I'll be here.
Okay.
Kansas City next. We should do that Zoom again. That's funny.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.